Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Early this morning, and my concern is what can I say to make it easier for the people who hear my voice to understand that you are being had. You are being had. We as people are being had. And so the thought kind of crossed my mind to say something to you like this. Let's assume that there no one on earth, and then a creator chooses you and put you on this earth. No one is on this earth but you. Now, in order to survive on this earth, you're going to need food, you're going to need clothing, you're going to need shelter, you're going to need to be able to educate yourself, and you're going to need to be able to take care of yourself, your health. These things you're going to have to be able to do. And these things you do. You do every last one of them. It's complicated, but you spend your whole life doing one to the other. One to the other. You don't get a chance to do anything else but one to the other. Now you're working on the food effort, the clothing effort, the shelter effort, the educating effort, the healthcare. That's all you do. And that takes up your whole 24 hours, including the time you get to sleep. Okay, let's assume now that there are 10 people on Earth. Now, 10 people got to do the same identical things. 10 people got to do the same identical things. Chances are they probably are going to start competing against one another for materials, especially if they are located in close proximity. So they're going to have some problem that's going to occur from there. Okay, that's just 10 people. Let's say 1,000 people. And 1,000 people got to do the same identical things every day. But somebody might come there and get a little smart and say, wait a minute, let us kind of see if we can divide this stuff up. And rather than all of us, each of us trying to do all of these things, let's break it up and let some of us do some of these things until all of these things are covered. In other words, you're cutting your duties and functionality down to whatever percentage. Now let's think about 8 billion people. Can you imagine 8 billion people competing against? But can you also think about the first principle? The first principle that the first man had to come on this earth to deal with all of those responsibilities. That person had to work. That person had to have a job. And that job was taking care of yourself. When the numbers grew, it didn't change. It just changed how much you had to do. And when the numbers grew, it didn't change. It didn't change. Now you worry about not only what you got to do, how much you got to do, but how little you do because of the numbers. What does that do? That opens up doors for you to do all kinds of things. Now you notice, ladies and gentlemen, when each man, each individual came on the earth, from the 1 to the 8 billion, the resources were already here. From the first one to now, the same resources already here. Didn't belong to anybody. They were here for that first man to utilize as he saw fit, for that first 10 people, for that first 100 people, for that first 1,000 people, to that first 8 billion people to do with as. But that would allow people to do the things that they like doing the most. That would mean that you could choose your career and you would choose the one that gives you your greatest joy. And by doing that, you're just engaging yourself in a family product. And what you do is that you, the people, the family, you create all the food, all the clothing, all the shelter, all the education, all the health care that any of us would ever need. It's just we looking out for one another. That is the way it's supposed to be, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, that is the way it's supposed to be. In that, you have peace, you have prosperity, you have freedom, you have joy, you have your dreams come true. Your needs, your wants, and your desires are met. Plain and simple as that. That's divine. That's the way we, as people on this earth, are supposed to be living. But somebody came and told you a lie. Somebody came and told you that the oil belonged to them. That all of these resources that are so useful in the meeting the life sustainability of human beings, somebody got their name on them now, and you can't get it unless you buy it, which means now people can dictate who can work, what kind of work you do, how much you pay for this. You're nothing but a slave. And guess what? Millions are without food. Millions are without shelter. Millions are without education. Millions without health care. You know what? That is because there are those that will set up and because they don't see God, they don't understand God, so they become God. And the rest of the people who permit this to happen for whatever the reason, either you don't know or you believe or you just dumb or ignorant, whatever the reason is, or you might be saved, whatever your reason is, the devil keeps running the world. The devil keeps running the world, human beings. The worst you can get is what Putin is doing over there in Ukraine, murdering people because they won't let him be God. Now, that same thing could spread all across this earth, killing people that won't let them be God because they are willing to kill and folks don't want to die. And so, as long as they know somebody will kill them for standing up, they've been down. This is what we have done all over where human beings exist. Sure, there are situations in different areas of life that are better than others. That is the way it is in hell. But it's all coming around. It's all coming around. These, my friends, as I have often indicated, are just different rooms in the bosom of hell. Some say democracy room is a little better. Some say the dictator room is better. Doesn't make any difference. Nobody's free. It's the same old, same old. Some are in the streets begging. Some are flying up in space, having fun, floating around to on the streets begging. And that represents humanity. That represents the human beings that God has placed on this earth. And this is what we do. This is what we have accepted. We have accepted the fact that in the United States of America, they have come through the past few years telling all kinds of lies and calling them alternative truths. And the people, rather than straightening this crap out, not only fail for it, they're carrying it forward. They have decided that they were going to break all the laws and go back and change the laws, give them the power to abuse people. Can you believe it? In America, the Republican Party and the Southern sentiment have decided that they were going to make laws that permitted them to do exactly what they want to do, to keep people out of office or to put people in. And for some strange reason, it seems to be happening. And people saying, no, it's wrong. But the laws are being passed. And what is happening? To stop this stuff. This is what happens in hell. Nothing but confusion. In a heavenly way of life, it's as simple as kids playing in the park. And it's fun. And there ain't no war. There ain't no lying, no cheating, no stealing, no killing, no terror, no war. But what we have, ladies and gentlemen, is a result of every human being that's living in the world today. That means you too. Now, I know you don't want to hear that. You don't believe that, and you're not going to do anything about it because you don't know what to do about it. I can tell you what to do about it, ladies and gentlemen. Start thinking about the people that are hurting. Start thinking about those people being you. Start thinking about what you would want done if it were you. Like if you were being murdered in Ukraine, you'd want somebody to stop that turkey that's killing them. That's what you want. You wouldn't want a handout. You want somebody to help you stop them. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I believe I said something to help somebody. Uh, when we start making some changes, and people start feeling better in their lives, and things start looking up, well, heavenly, then I'll come back on here and I'll be telling you about all the flowers that's blooming and all the sun rays that's reaching to every place. Then, but until then, I gotta tell it like it is. I gotta tell it like it is. I gotta speak like the person who's hurting, and they need somebody to speak for them because they need a lot of people, to be honest, to speak for them. Because this one voice right here seems like it's doing no good. All right, talk to you later.